speaking of the conference, we have two undefeated teams still left. I feel like Oklahoma is not so much of a surprise, maybe a little bit surprising that they haven't played better, honestly. And then, maybe a little bit more of a surprise for Oklahoma State. This week, OSU travels to Austin to play Texas, which is still hanging in that top 25 poll after blowing a big lead in that Red River game. We were all following it after the Baylor game. So Texas should be desperate for a win in this one. Who do you feel like wins this game? And, does the winner have the inside track to maybe a meeting with the Sooners in that Big 12 title game later this year?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Texas here. I think they've got a lot of motivation. I think Oklahoma State, they've played a pretty favorable schedule so far. And I just don't have a lot of faith in Spencer Sanders. I just think he's really erratic at quarterback. You saw him throw 3 interceptions against Baylor. If Baylor had taken advantage of those interceptions, they probably would have won. So, I think Texas is going to come out really hot.
Yeah, I'm going to go Texas too. And I also think it's going to be a comfortable Texas win. I think it would have been that way regardless. But as for, how that sets them up for the rest of the season, I think a Texas win just blows open the conference. I think Oklahoma State can lose that game and still very well be playing in AT&T Stadium in December or late November. I'm not sure the exact date on it right now. I think, Baylor fans, as much as it might hurt, should be rooting for Texas because I think it opens the doors for the Bears if they can beat the Horns in 2 weeks, and then that puts them back in the equation. Then I think Iowa State, they've kind of were so talked about all summer, and now no one's talking about them. But a Texas win on Saturday puts them right back in the equation. They could very well be with a rematch with OU from last year's Big 12 title playing again this year.
Yeah, no doubt. I was not overly impressed with Oklahoma State in that game in Stillwater that Baylor played. They won the game. They did what they had to do. But to me, that was the ultimate game of two teams going, here, you win it. No, here, you win it. And nobody wanted it. Yeah. It was just they were not sharp. Spencer Sanders certainly is prone to some turnovers. Now, Texas's defense can get gashed. They showed that in that Oklahoma game. But they do have some playmakers, and Bijan Robinson, with a big game against Oklahoma State, could certainly thrust himself right back to the forefront of that Heisman talk again. I feel like there's going to be some running backs in the finalists for the Heisman. So be an interesting game, but I'm with you guys. I feel like Texas probably wins this one at home. Longhorns are very, up and down, to say the least.